How many of you guys are social network addicted? Honest race of hands? Still not there. All right, thanks, Zoe. Thank you very much. That was a very enlightening presentation. Now, the only time I heard the word Omni 20 years ago was when somebody said, God is omnipresent, right? Things are fast evolving. Things are changing now. So to talk of omni-channels, Joe, can we have you up there? Thank you.
Thanks a lot. I don't know how I'm going to go against the two amazing ladies beforehand. I think I've got an interesting challenge. Let's see if I can get more slides. In building the omni-channel experience. Realistically, at the moment, I don't think many brands are actually there yet. Obviously, in Australia and the US, we're a lot further ahead. But it's definitely something that's needed, and I'll go through why. Just quickly on me. Who says technology is not cool? Yep, sure. I'm an entrepreneur, a digital change agent, and a pragmatic futurist. So a pragmatic futurist is somebody who looks at the stuff that's going on and then actually tries to apply it. So I spend a lot of time thinking about new stuff. So just looking at the omni-channel approach, at the moment, I think a lot of businesses are in the multi-channel space. Even at 3M, I think we're very siloed. We're trying to look at cross-channel. Some of the better guys in the world are moving to that cross-channel space where they're actually getting that data to flow across their different elements. But omni-channel is obviously the desired state where the customer is driving everything and everything's communicating with each other. No, it's not. Yeah, okay. So just looking at the 4 tactics. We'll quickly go over this. So overcoming the organisational silos. By far, I think this is definitely the first area you've got to focus on. It's something that takes a lot of time. And I'll talk a little bit more on that next. Customer-centric, I mean, the ladies have both spoken about that. Everybody, it's the internet of me, it's the internet of people. We've got to start to look exactly how our customers are engaging with our company. Creating those relevant and meaningful moments is really important, and the contextual element is vital. And last, looking at multi-channel attribution. So actually understanding which channels are working, not just assuming that the last touch point is the place where you should invest the most amount of money. So starting with the organisational silos, with 3M we've got 40 business units. Most of them don't talk to each other. Some of them don't even know the other one exists. It's a lot of tug of war about, I'm the only person in Australia who's cross-divisional from a marketing perspective. And they say to me, oh, can you build this amazing experience for us, but don't let anybody else use it. So having that attitude in the company, it can really be quite damaging. So that's a culture we're trying to change within 3M, but I think it's prevalent across most big organisations. It's something you can't do. The other part of that is collecting all this data and then leaving it in a bucket to rot is the worst thing you can possibly do. Having spreadsheets full of email addresses that sit there and actually don't get spread across the organisation is pointless. So doing all that work and then actually not facilitating with that data is wasting your time, basically. So it's vitally important, and the organisational change is the most important part. The technical stuff is all there. You can do it. Everything's available for you to actually communicate with each other, share data, do all that work, customise experiences across your organisations. But it's a cultural change you've actually got to focus on doing, and that's the stuff that takes the most time. So the customer-centric approach, I'll dive a bit into this. I've worked for a lot of B2C organisations as well as B2B. Especially B2B, a lot of companies don't actually think about the customer. They think about the channel partner, they think about how they're getting to market, they think about their competitors, but they forget about that the people that are buying the products are still people at the end of the day. So if you can tap into what their needs and what their desires are, you're going to be further ahead as well. So looking at where the customer is, I mean, there was some fantastic data that Zoe shared earlier. You guys have got a rapidly growing online presence, but don't forget about the traditional markets as well. I mean, I see these melding as well, as both Sharu and Zoe mentioned. Digital is going to start to influence the physical space. But a big part of that is understanding the journey. It's not linear with your customer. So where are they touching your brand in the digital space as well as the physical space? Where is the managed elements that they're engaging with, and where's the unmanaged? I mean, it's really important to understand that most of the conversations you can't control. So you've got to be aware of what's happening and being able to put together strategies to, take advantage of those serendipitous moments that your customers might deliver you. And then looking at customization. Generic experiences just don't work anymore. I mean, the number of times you get an email that's about a product you've just bought, or you get targeted with ads about the shoes you bought yesterday or whatever. You've got to start to customise these experiences because people are just going to disengage with your brand. And it's so easy to switch now, and there's also so many competitors in the market. So it was great. It was like we almost coordinated the videos here. But so Minority Report's one of my most favourite films. Philip K. Dick's an amazing writer. So interestingly enough, I mean, while this looks like science fiction, this was done with Rebecca Minkoff and eBay only 2 years ago. So if you look here,
the connected wall.
So you basically got this experience happening
shows the
now.
latest Rebecca Minkoff brand content. By pressing the mirror, she initiates an interactive experience where she can browse the latest looks, find products she likes, even request a fitting room. She can order drinks and download the mobile app directly.
So I want to be able to go and shop
by
clothes and
pressing
order drinks
Send to
as
my
well.
room, our shopper can initiate a one-on-one stylist session. When the room's ready, she'll get a text message. Upon entering the fitting room, the shopper will find the product she requested in addition to suggestions from the stylist. Adjustable lighting in the fitting room also allows the shopper to change and control her environment. The fitting room uses RFID to magically recognize each item in the room. If the shopper needs a different size, cut, or color, she can easily request it from a stylist by simply touching the glass of the mirror. The shopper also has the option to attach everything she's tried on in the fitting room to her personal profile.
And that's a really important thing is, I mean, while having that store experience in store, they're able to take that experience away with them once they've done that, build a profile and actually have that engagement again later on, or share it with their friends. So just to give you some context around that, I mean, that was done 2 years ago. I was speaking to Hemas yesterday. There are some startups in the universities in in Sri Lanka that are actually looking at this stuff already. So it's not going to be millions of dollars to get this stuff implemented. You've got these young startups that are already looking at these digital touch points. So engaging with those small companies to actually help you facilitate this stuff is vital. So this is a really interesting one as well. So you can jump on here. This is North Face. So North Face is using IBM's Watson to actually customize your buying experience of apparel. Really amazing. Watson's, something you can basically jump on and engage with and have up to 1 million API calls. So customizing the buying experiences online using their artificial intelligence. So you can jump on that experience. That's live now, and they've seen a huge uplift in purchases online. So the other one as well is, and this is obviously a more simple engagement point. So everyone knows what this is? Another question. This is Amazon Dash button. So the Amazon Dash button is a simple Bluetooth button that allows you to buy the product with a single click. So you're taking that single click to purchase experience offline. So suddenly you've got that online experience moving into the physical world. They've just released 50 more of these buttons for brands. The interesting part about it is it actually came from a small company in Dubai, a tiny pizza place that actually started this idea. So for a couple of rupees, you can build a little Bluetooth button like this with your company, especially if you've got a company that's engaging constantly and always wanting to buy additional products from your company. If you can do that with a single click in the physical world, you're ahead of the game with that. So actually understanding where your investments are is really important. I mean, the big part of this is making the assumption that that last point of purchase is where you should invest the money, or search is where you should invest the most amount of money, just because that's where the person, the last digital touch point was before they actually sort of went and bought the product. is really dangerous, because you can spend a huge amount of money where actually looking at maybe an earlier part of the funnel, say display or video, was where you should be focusing your time. You have to look at the entire journey of the customer, and every customer, every digital touch point is unique. So customers are going to engage different depending upon what mood they're in, what access they've got to different devices. So you've got to actually invest in those right platforms at the right time. So just jumping into some of the case studies, Disney does an amazing job. I mean, this is especially focused on their Disneyland venues. If you go on and book with Disney, the experience straight away is a level of engagement. You get targeted, and obviously I was doing a lot of research, so I was getting targeted quite a lot, but their ads are quite targeted along how far along the journey you are. So if you've jumped on and just started to look, they'll ask you to come back and continue the journey with them. If you've already booked, you start getting ads that are more about what you can do while you're at the venue. So the ads are really, really targeted. The interesting thing that they implemented a couple of years ago was a magic band, which is sitting in the middle. So the magic band basically, not only does it allow for digital interactions inside the actual parks themselves, but you're getting that sent out to you weeks or even months in advance. So suddenly the children are all excited with the brand already. They're engaging with the brand, weeks or months before they're even going to attend there. What they found is that the kids wanted to wear these bands even though they didn't work with other things every day. So they wanted accessories. So it actually became a revenue stream that they weren't even aware of. And they've expanded it. It's become a collectible item as well. So the interesting thing was in Asia, though, the wearables, probably haven't taken off as well from the testing that they're doing. So they've built a really robust mobile experience as well. So you've got to tailor that. You can't just implement something and assume that everybody's going to use it. So you've got to tailor it for different parts of the world as well.
Hi, I'll take a large coffee and leave room, please.
That's $3.26. $3.26.
Okay. Okay. All right.
I'm sorry.
Oh. There you go.
Next. Hi. Hi, can I help you?
Oh, yes, 2, please. Oh, There you go.
Oh, I don't, what is that?
Hi. Thank you.
Thank you. Once you've experienced My Magic Plus at Walt Disney World Resort, you'll want to use it everywhere.
This is going to be awesome!
So the interesting thing with that, as I said, they do a great job with their media, engaging with you online and in other channels, up front, social in particular as well. But as I said, once you get the device, suddenly you're even more connected to the brand. You've got the app on your phone, your kids are wearing it, they're all excited about going to Disneyland. They get to the venue. So with the venue, they've actually seen, which is pretty amazing. I mean, obviously you can see there you can pay for things, you can get into your room. One of the unexpected benefits that they had was they had an 80% reduction in lost children. So it was a huge resource for them to actually, be running around and finding these lost children for people. But because the customers are suddenly all connected, they're able to pinpoint a child within 20 metres and be able to find exactly where they are. So that huge benefit was it wasn't an overt sales benefit, but suddenly it's a massive revenue being able to be brought back into the company because they're not spending all that time. It also creates those amazing magical moments. So whenever a child engages with a character within the park, the attendee who's with the character can actually scan the wearable and get the child's name and even their birthday. So Mickey's suddenly speaking to you and asking you, saying happy birthday to you or saying your name without you being prompted. So it's creating those really customised experience and on scale as well. The interesting part that they're starting to look at is taking that device into their retail stores. So outside of the actual parks themselves, they've already got these enamoured fans who are wearing this technology and being tracked. If they can then take that into retail, the benefits are enormous for them as well. So interestingly enough, I worked with Milo, so about a year and a half ago, Nestle Vietnam created a wearable device, and it was a fairly simplistic engagement and very campaign focused to start with. What we did is we actually looked at that and said, how can we actually increase the engagement with this device? I mean, all their kids want to have a Fitbit like their parents, but it's really cost prohibitive. So what we did is we built a really inexpensive device, and then saturated the engagement. So there was touch points in store. If you look at the picture on the left at the bottom, that was taken 3 days ago when I was in Sydney. So there's all these in shopping market touch points as well. But I'll just show you the video now.
We know how important it is for kids to stay physically active and nourished with a healthy, balanced diet. That's why we've created Milo Champions, an exciting new health, fitness and activity tracker and app designed to help your kids make the most of every day. As a parent, you can find out how much physical activity your child is getting each day by syncing the app to their Milo Champions band. It's an activity tracker worn around their wrist that measures how many steps they've taken and the number of kilojoules they've burned through physical activity. The Milo Champions app also helps kids find out how they're tracking against their daily activity goals. You can keep track of your child's nutrient intake by adding meals to the nutrition calculator. It will tell you how many kilojoules they've consumed and display their energy balance. You can also encourage your child with Milo Valuable Player badges in areas like leadership, positivity and teamwork to reward them for their hard work and commitment. Kids can challenge their friends to compete in daily, weekly or weekend steps challenges. They can also access fun and informative content like videos, physical challenges and fun sporting hints and tips. Kids can also scan a Milo tin using the Milo Champions app to access interactive augmented reality content and learn new sporting skills from well-known Australian and international sporting stars that will encourage them to get out and stay active. Milo Champions, helping kids make the most of every day.
So the important part of that, obviously we saturated retail and media, but once they received the device, they were able to share those experiences and the rewards and such that they'd actually achieved back on social media. But the most critical part was the engagement with the product itself. So by actually having the child do the activities, but then get these augmented experiences that could only be activated via getting the product out of the cupboard, we suddenly saw a huge increase in people. There was a 20% increase in sales just from the fact that they're getting this out of the cupboard. They might as well have another Milo while they're there. So, and that obviously goes back to them coming back in store to buy more product. The interesting thing that I'm seeing now, though, is obviously we touched on it a little bit, but the artificial intelligence boom is coming. So the product on the left is the Google Home product, which hasn't been launched yet, but the Amazon Echo product, which has been launched about a year and a half ago, is basically your Siri for shopping. So in the US, a person can just say to the product, to the Echo, I've run out of toilet paper, buy me more toilet paper. They don't have to specify a brand, they don't have to specify a specific product. Because the Amazon Echo is connected to their shopping history, they know what brands they want. They know what their criteria of purchase is and what their price points are, etc. So you're not actually in control of which brand the AI selects. So that's a huge shift that you've actually got to understand, is that if you can't really do advertising to an AI. And that's what I think the really interesting part is. I mean, how do you influence what an artificial intelligence selection is? So they're not going to care about emotion. So this is where it's vitally important, as I went back earlier, is that all your data is across the organisation, it's up to date and current, because the AI doesn't really care if you've got a really cool video or if you've got a celebrity. And they're going to start making more and more buying decisions on behalf of the customer. So augmented reality, the interesting thing is that I've downloaded the Pokemon Go app. If you want to get some Pokeballs, the fountain's a really good source for Pokeballs. So the fun part about that is that the Pokemon app only came out a week ago. It's now got more users than Twitter in a week. So suddenly you've got this augmented experience where people are running around, they're going into stores to find Pokemon characters, and they're engaging in the digital and physical world. So it's dramatically changing that. So this is a product called All411.
Shoppers today have gone
and
mobile,
it uses
with more than
the,
80% using mobile devices to help
the new
them
camera
shop.
technology that's
What's
being,
interesting is that 90% of all purchases still happen in physical retail stores. But whether it's in a store or online, shoppers want information and tools.
I'll skip that one. Just going back on the 411 product, they're using the new camera technology that's coming out in the phones, so the Project Tango camera, and people are going to be able to map the environment inside stores. So you've got to start to think about how, from an augmented perspective, is my brand represented? So you've got to look at, okay, how do customers want to engage through their screen, and then eventually with eyewear with my brand. So this is oops, go back. So this is Magic Leap, still in beta, and still a very stealth company. But these are augmented eyewear. The product you saw me before wearing was a HoloLens. This is going to significantly change how people start engaging. You think your website's not responsive is an issue? When your website goes away and suddenly all the information is served in your field of view, your data and your information is not going to be served on like these large sort of environments. It's all going to be pieces of information. So you've got to make sure you've got adaptive content that's able to be served within these new platforms. Let's go through for a bit more to skip forward.
Everest conquered, the New Zealander Edmund Hillary got his first mail
part
and
of this is,
congratulatory telegrams from George Lowe, a fellow countryman
Well, this is
and
work
expedition
stuff.
colleague.
It goes into
Just
e-commerce in a
35 miles
second.
from Kathmandu, capital of Nepal, Hillary and Tenzing were welcomed and congratulated by their fellow members of the expedition.
I'll see if I can. My videos have usually been cut down. Yeah, so it goes into e-commerce here. So if you can actually show physical product digitally, so here you can actually look at the shoes, you've actually got to start thinking about how do I represent my products in 3D. So it's really important to start to think about that now. I mean, this thing's probably 2 years away, but if you aren't thinking about this now, you're going to be behind the game, and your brand's going to be invisible once we move into this augmented space. So just quickly going through, I've got the stop sign now. So the 4 tactics: overcome those silos, focus on the customer, create those relevant and contextual experiences, and then make sure you're paying attention to where your brands are making the most impact.